Kemp joins us, talk some rugby league. Congrats on the weekend, mate. Your pony came in, eh?
Yeah, the old boy. He's got another one up, Marty. It's fitting too. It happened to be Alan Sherrick's sales winner. He had to wait a fair while. He thought he had a couple of ones a little bit earlier in the day that might have got it for him. But I just thought a bit of a fairy tale, actually. One of my best mates, I'm in it with him and his brother, and just asked me. He's just been a fantastic horse for us for the last 7 years, and won plenty for us as well.
Okay, so how much do you get out of that? Like, what kind of cash comes into the bank?
Well, Marty, if I told you that, I'd probably have to come around there and visit you at night.
Okay, right. Yeah, I don't want that, mate. You're right. Put the sleeper hold on. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, poor Izzy yesterday. I thought maybe I just think he ran out of, unlike my horse, he ran out of legs and couldn't get to the finish line. No, it was a nice little earn for us, Marty. I guess over a period of time, he's paid for the truck that I'm driving, and put it that way. So it's a worthwhile experience.
All right, I got 6 again to start this rugby league chat as always, mate. Questions? Storm, Panthers, Roosters, Sharks, Dogs, Eagles, Cowboys, Dragons. That's the top 8. Is that the 8 as it stands now that's also going to finish the season as the top 8?
No.
Okay, all right. You think that one of them's going to drop out? You can explain who soon. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a great season, 1 being seriously disappointing, what ranking do you give the Warriors?
Well, look, I think if you're going 5 as average out of 10, Marty, I think you're going to have to give them about a 3, wouldn't you?
8 wins out of 22. That's the only stat that matters. Are the Storm definitely one of the grand finalists in your opinion?
Yes, even more so now that Cleary's out.
Well, that was my next question. Could the Panthers win this without him?
No.
If Cleary doesn't come back, what team or teams do you think right now could potentially beat Melbourne in that grand final?
Well, I'd have to say either the Roosters or possibly, I'm going to throw Smokey in there, the Bulldogs.
Final question then. It has been going 24 rounds, the NRL. How many weeks of those 24 have the Warriors been inside the top 8? You have a guess. It's going to shock you. How many weeks out of 24?
2.
Bingo. You got it. 2. So let's start there and quickly get the Warriors out of the way, Tony, because I don't want to talk about them anymore because the Warriors are now irrelevant. What we're talking about is a fantastic competition that's getting down to the business end with 2 or 3 rounds to go, and then we're in the finals. So it's the top 8. So the Warriors, the only relevancy is that the number 8 is the amount of wins that they've had. What has gone wrong in 2 or 3 minutes, if you can explain, from last year's 16 wins?
Well, the first thing, the most glaring factor, Marty, is that all the players weren't playing at the top of their game like they did last year. I think if you could say week in, week out in 2023 that 1 to 7, no matter who he put in there, Andrew Webster got the best out of those players week in, week out, and you can't say that this year. You look at the likes of Jackson, who's been in and out of form. They've never settled on a spine. And Fanua Blake, who has wanted to go. Tohu Harris, who's played injured all year and hasn't finished the year. And Sean Johnson's just, a second half performance really sums up his season against Manly. And I think that's the first thing. The second thing for me is you've got to have a look at who's actually running the team. Like, does the coach really get full autonomy over running the team? Because there seems to be much more happening off the football field and the focus around what's going on at the club, i.e. selling crowds out, building a pub, talking about the social media, everyone's got a podcast, other than what's really important, and that's winning competitions, and they find themselves sitting in 14th. I thought South would have pushed them down one spot if they could have got up at West Tigers. I don't think that was a forward pass anyway, that last one from Murray. And for me, the final thing, when you look at their season, it has just been poor. There's no doubt when you look at the second point, which is everything's going for you. You've got a packed house. You've got a competition that's set up to be won this year, and you perform that poorly. I think questions need to be asked about actually what has been the focus of the Warriors in 2024, because you look at that schedule, and everyone was talking about it at the end of 2023 when they were one game away from the grand final. They were actually meant to be sitting in the 4 and pushing for finals place this year, and then nowhere near it.
Nowhere near it. I mean, and I know that, apart from you saying that, and maybe one or two other people saying that, the rest of it is all just fluff and guff, and it's all just rah-rah, and, there'll be more social media posts from the Warriors this week all about Sean's retirement and all of that kind of stuff. What's more important, celebrating that, which I know is relevant to this week, and he deserves a good send-off and all of that, but what's more important, celebrating that or honestly reflecting on where the team has gone wrong this year, where it should be, and the fact that it has been a miserable, failed season? Well, I mean, why won't people talk about this?
Well, there's actually a lot in that question, Marty. The first thing is, like, in our woke world, like, turn your radio off. If you don't want to hear what I'm about to say, then turn your radio off and go and watch one of the million podcasts you can of the Warriors and how great they are off the football field, not on it. So you have that choice, yeah? But the second part of it is that we should be talking about why they are performing so poorly and sitting down in 14th position. And because of the social media beat-up on, how fantastic they are filling stadiums and driving nice cars and talking about themselves, everyone has bought into I've said it before, the Kool-Aid. Everyone's drinking the Warriors Kool-Aid. And unfortunately, when you look at 2025, no Sean Johnson, Tamari Martin and CHT, possibly Metcalf, and you've got a young Jet Cleary in the wings there, and no one knows what he's going to be like. With Fisher Harris coming in, aren't they going to get any better the next year? And I think that it's better to talk about that now than wait till it actually happens next year, because I don't think they're going to be able to drink that Kool-Aid going into next year if they start to go on the same sort of season they're having this year. And then they're hearing the same sort of narrative coming out of the head office, but getting the same results. I don't think people are that dumb.
What frustrates me is that, we've lived off last year, all of this year. You can't live off 2 years ago when it comes to next year, 225. You're exactly right. You can't keep looking back. Oh, yeah, but in 220, we're 16 wins, so what? In between that, there's another 8 wins. And when you look at the last 4 years, Tony, the wins have been 8, 6, 16, and there's 8. We might get one more. So let's actually at least celebrate Sean Johnson, and he deserves a good send-off, doesn't he? But all the points that you raised and the questions that you raised, these are all valid. And it's not hacking into the Warriors, people. But, Tony you just raised a great point. What does the club actually want to be? Does it want to be a serious premiership title-winning side? Because it needs to answer that question. Because I don't believe that it does at the moment.
And that's the $1 million question. Like, you don't even have to ask any more questions. It's that question there in the full essence of what you are as an NRL club. Like, do you want to be remembered? And we've all had a crack at it trying to get premierships with the Warriors. You can talk about it like wanting to be something that has never been done before since 1995. But I've got a feeling this year that we're starting to actually get really settled again. And we're getting settled because we're filling stadiums. We're looking great off the pitch and podcasts. We've got a coach that will continually, I love Andrew Webster. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a great bloke, and I like his transparency. But I think you can, when you're getting a pat on the back for saying stuff when you're in 14th and owning up to it and getting a pat on the back, I just think then you've got to look at who's actually supporting them as people that are actually quite comfortable with you not actually getting anywhere.
That's it.
Because the next thing that will happen, Marty, is that players will start to realise, actually, we're not here to win a competition. We're here to look good off the football field.